You sold a put, collected premium, and the stock's barely moved. So why is your position showing a loss? If that's happened to you, you're not alone, and there's a reason for it. The stock price is only one of the things that moves an options price. Volatility, time, and gamma are working on your position every single day, whether you realize it or not. The option Greeks, delta, gamma, theta, and vega are how we measure all of that. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what each one does, how to read them on your broker platform, and how professional traders use them to manage risk. Before we dive in, just a quick reminder that everything discussed is for educational purposes only and is general in nature. Today's a beginner's guide to option Greeks. We're covering the four main ones, delta, gamma, theta, and vega. There is a fifth Greek called rho, which measures interest rate sensitivity, but it's a minor player for most traders, so we'll leave that one for another day. In simple terms, the Greeks measure how sensitive your option position is to different market forces. Think of them like the dashboard in your car. Your speedometer, fuel gauge, and temperature gauge each tell you a different type of risk. The Greeks do the same thing for your options. Delta tells you the sensitivity to changes in the stock price. Gamma tells you how quickly your delta changes as the stock price moves. Theta is your time decay, or how much value the option loses each day. And Vega is your sensitivity to changes in implied volatility. Each Greek isolates one specific risk. Once you can read them, you'll know exactly how your position should behave before the market even opens. Let's start with the big one. Delta tells you how much an option price is expected to move for every $1 change in the stock price. If a call option has a delta of 0.50, we usually just say a 50 delta for short. And if the stock price rises by $1, that option should gain by about 50 cents. Delta ranges from -1 to +1. Call options have a delta between 0 and +1. They move with the stock. Put options have a delta between 0 and -1. They move against the stock. So a put with a delta of -30 loses about 30 cents when the stock rises $1. That's why put sellers actually profit when the stock goes up. Here's where beginners get tripped up. Your position delta depends on whether you bought or sold the option. If you buy a call, you have positive delta. If you buy a put, you have negative delta. Pretty straightforward. But if you sell a call, even though the call has positive delta, you actually have negative delta. And if you sell a put, the put has negative delta, but you, because you sold the put, have positive delta. Option position delta is another important concept for beginners to understand. Let's look at some specific examples. Here you can see some calls and puts. We've got some straight long calls, 80 delta. The position delta is 80. Position delta here is 60. Here we've sold that call option. So even though the call has positive delta, our position delta is negative delta. If we buy a put option, the put has negative delta, our position is negative delta. But if we sell a put option, the put still has negative delta, but we have positive delta. Your position delta tells you your directional exposure in share equivalent terms. So a position delta of 180 behaves roughly like owning 180 shares of the stock, at least for small moves, because that number is going to be constantly changing. Delta has a handy second use. It's a rough estimate of the probability the option expires in the money. A 20 delta put has a roughly 20% chance of finishing in the money, which means roughly an 80% chance of expiring worthless. That's why conservative option sellers love those low delta strikes. But, and you'll hear me say this a lot, everything in options is a trade-off. A low delta put has a high probability of profit, but collects only a small premium. A higher delta put pays you more in premium, but it wins less often. There's no free lunch. It's all about finding a balance that suits your process and your style. Let's take a look at this live on Interactive Brokers Trader Workstation using their Risk Navigator tool, and we'll use Apple as our example. The stock's trading about 318, and I've added some in-the-money call options and some out-of-the-money call options. And here's our delta here. This is our strike delta, and you can see they're all positive. For example, this one has an 18 delta. It's 0.18, but we just say 18 delta for short. Now, if we look at the 330 strike call option, if we were to buy one of those options, we would have a position delta of 36 because one contract times 100 times the delta equals 36. Well, actually, it would be 35.85. If we were to buy, say, 5 contracts, the strike delta hasn't changed, but our position delta has changed because we're doing now 5 contracts. If we were to turn that into a bull call spread and sell, say, this out of the money call here, you can see that position, the strike delta is the same, hasn't changed, it's still 29, but we've actually got negative position delta on that one because we've sold that option. And when we combine the two together, we get our overall position delta of 32. So we've got plus 179 delta here, minus 147 delta there, overall delta of 32. So again, this column is showing our strike delta. This column is showing our position delta, which takes into account the number of contracts and whether we're buying or selling. Let's do the same thing with our put options. Let's say we want to sell this 25 delta put option. If we sell one of those, we've got negative contracts, we've sold them, we've got negative strike delta. So overall, we have positive position delta because a negative times a negative is a positive. If we were to buy that option, we would have negative delta. Let's say we were to sell 5 contracts. We've got positive delta of 124. Again, this number, our strike delta hasn't changed. but our position delta is now taking into account the number of contracts. If we were to turn that into a bull put spread, let's say we buy this one, we've got the positive delta here, we've got negative delta here, overall positive delta of 24. This position at the moment is roughly an equivalent exposure to owning 24 shares of Apple. Every broker platform shows delta in the option chain, positive for calls, negative for puts, and we can see how delta shrinks as we go further out of the money in the puts and further out of the money in the calls. The delta is getting smaller and smaller. Now, there's another important concept when it comes to delta, and that's called delta hedging. I'm not going to get into that today because I've got other videos on that topic that you might want to check out, and I'll link them in the description below. If delta is your speed, gamma is the acceleration, and gamma tells you how much your delta will change for every $1 move in the stock. Say you own a call option with a delta of 50 and a gamma of 10. If the stock price moves up by $1, you make about 50 cents on the option, and your delta is going to move up to about 0.6. So now, if the stock price moves another $1, the option price will increase by 60 cents instead of 50. That compounding effect is gamma at work. Two things drive gamma higher. Moneyness is the first one. So gamma peaks for at-the-money options. You can see that here. The at-the-money strikes have the highest gamma value. Time is the other factor. The closer to expiration, the higher the gamma. Weekly options have very high gamma, and their deltas can swing wildly. You can see that here, the green line, 1 month option has a much higher gamma than a 3 month option and even a 6 month option. High gamma just means your P&L can change very quickly in both directions. It's not a good or bad thing on its own, but you need to know when you're carrying it. And this is why those 0 DTE options and weekly option positions can feel like a roller coaster. Volatility impacts gamma as well. In a low IV environment, gamma is concentrated tightly at the money strikes, but in a high IV environment, it's spread evenly across the strikes. You can see that here. When we've got high IV, our gamma is much more evenly spread. When we're in a low IV environment, gamma is really concentrated around those at the money strikes. You can kind of see that here in Risk Navigator. If we up the contracts to 10, we can see that the gamma is the highest in those at the money strikes. And as we go further out of the money on the downside, the gamma is lower. And as we start going in the money, the gamma starts to drop away as well. Theta measures how much value an option loses each day as it moves towards expiration. A theta of 0.10 means the option loses roughly 10 cents per day or $10 per contract. If you're an option buyer, theta is working against you every single day. But if you're an option seller, theta is your best friend. You're getting paid while you wait. You've probably seen this chart before. Time decay isn't linear. 6 months out, an option decays pretty slowly, but in the final few weeks, and especially in that final week, theta decay accelerates dramatically. So why doesn't everyone sell weekly options and collect that juicy time decay? Because, say it with me, everything in options is a trade-off. Those short-dated options with the fastest theta also carry the highest gamma. You're collecting lots of time decay, but one sharp move in the stock can wipe out weeks of theta gains in a few hours. Longer dated trades have slower theta, but also lower gamma, so your P&L is going to move much more gently in both directions. Neither is right or wrong, they're just different styles and different risk profiles. Personally, I prefer longer dated, slower moving trades. If we go back to Risk Navigator, we can see here that when we sell put options, we have positive theta. That means we're making money each day through time decay, and the theta is the highest around the at-the-money strikes. If we were to buy these put options instead, this would flip to negative theta and we'd be losing money each day through time decay. Vega is the last of the big four, and it tells us how much an option price changes for a 1% change in implied volatility. If a call option has a Vega of 10 and implied volatility rises by 1%, the option gains about 10 cents. If IV jumps by 5%, the option could increase by 50 cents just from the Vega alone. Option buyers have positive Vega, so they benefit when IV rises after they've opened the position. Option sellers have negative Vega, so they benefit when IV falls after they open their position. Vega is the Greek behind the mystery from the start of the video. You sell a put, the stock goes nowhere, but implied volatility spikes. Maybe the market gets nervous ahead of a Fed meeting or there's some sort of company-specific announcement, and the short option gets more expensive to buy back. The stock didn't actually move, but volatility did, and that's negative Vega at work. The flip side is the famous IV crush that punishes option buyers after earnings, but as option sellers, that's the crush that we're usually trying to collect. Like gamma and theta, Vega is highest for at-the-money options, and it's also higher for longer-dated options. Going back to Risk Navigator, we can again see that the Vega here is highest for the at-the-money options, and it starts to fall away as we go further out of the money. Let's tie it all together, because in real trading, the Greeks never act alone. You think about a typical option seller's position like a short put or an iron condor. A short put has positive delta. They want the stock to be stable or rising. Both positions have negative gamma. A big move is going to hurt you on the downside for the short put, and it's going to hurt you if the stock makes a big move in either direction for the condor. They both have positive theta, so they're making money through time decay, and they both have negative Vega. They want volatility to fall or stay calm after opening the position. Every one of these is a trade-off. You're collecting theta because you're accepting gamma risk. You're getting paid premium because you're short Vega when volatility could spike. The reverse is true for option buyers. They get unlimited upside potential and positive gamma, but they pay for it every day with theta decay. You don't really need to memorize any formulas. You just need a platform that displays the Greeks in real time. I use Interactive Broker's Risk Navigator. It's a great tool, and I've got some videos on walking you through exactly how to set that up. You also want to look at your Greeks across your whole portfolio. You don't want to just look at each position in isolation. So you want to have a mix of positive delta trades, negative delta trades, and a mix of negative Vega and positive Vega trades so that you're not just exposed to one side of those Greeks. Understanding the Greeks is one of the most important steps in your option trading journey. Master these 4 numbers and you'll never be surprised by your P&L again. I hope you found the video helpful. Hit the like and subscribe button if you did. I put out new options videos every week. Drop a comment below and let me know which Greek confused you the most when you got started. Thanks for watching and have a great day.